Hey, how y'all doing out there? As y'all can tell, I'm back in Georgia. You can see these sweet Georgia pines back here. And had a little something on my mind about all these laws being made. And I just want to make sure we're all on the same page about laws. There's three kind of laws. There's God's law, man's law, and then there's natural law. All right, now I'm not sure about God's law. I'm going to leave that alone with the Ten Commandments. That's some pretty good rules to go by anyway, no matter what you believe in. And I want to get to man's law really quick. Man's law don't work for us. Y'all created a republic where you elected officials to come in and make laws to help you out, but somehow they left we the people out of it. We're no longer in the law process. They're there to help the corporations and anybody that's got the money to lobby for these things. Take for instance a people law. A people law would be the Environmental Act, the Clean Air, Clean Water, and Clean Land Act. We the people did that. We fought hard for it. I remember when it all came around. I was so happy. I was like, yeah, now we finally got a watchdog for this. But then in 2007, Dick Cheney comes around and he makes the Halliburton loophole where fracking is exempt from these laws. They don't have to tell the chemicals. They don't have to disclose their locations or what they're drilling or what they're drilling for. They don't have to say anything about where they dump their wastewater and from the fracking. They don't have to say anything about fracking. It's exempt from law, from the government. This is the government working for the corporations, as I said. So we, the people, made a law. You got to do it by these guidelines. Government comes in and says, not this. We'll do it our way and our way only. So there you go. That's about how man's law works. Um, you think that laws help you out, but they just keep making them. They don't make them to fit our needs. They'll take one small individual or one little incident, they'll blow it out of proportion, then they'll make a law to fit their needs for that. It's basically on the federal level. I don't see many states doing it except South Carolina. Shame on you. You bow down to the federal government. Nobody in Dixie wants you down here no more. So you made a law, but you didn't speak for the people. You spoke for a situation that probably didn't happen because what I see now, the information that I'm reading is there was an FBI drill going on that day for a church shooting. There's no death certificates yet. If anybody can produce some death certificates, that's public record. So if you can produce them, I'd like to see them because I'd like to know. All I want to know is the truth. I'm not trying to speculate. I'm just saying the evidence looks like it might have been another false flag. For what? To get rid of a law that the flag could hang up? No. It's to get rid of a culture that fights all these stupid laws that are going on and the stupid government that's putting them out there. But they changed the law that the people came out and said, the people of South Carolina, the majority of them said, we want this flag to hang. And then the elected republic government of South Carolina said, no, we're going to kiss ass and bow down, be the cowards that we are. We're going to be just like our Senator Lindsey Graham up in Washington and kiss ass and not do a damn thing about what the people want or even ask the people what they want. Did you ask any black people what they wanted? The black preacher never said a bad thing about the Confederate flag, or the flag didn't walk in there and shoot anybody. But somehow this got mixed in there. Apparently, when it comes down to it, the FBI made a mistake by not using the laws that were in place. And the FBI couldn't get the background check on the boy, so if there was a shooting, it's on them. So sure, they want to blame it on something, but no, you make this law to take it down. So you step on a lot of toes in a bad area to step on toes. You try to take away somebody's culture. You try to take away their history, the things that they're proud of, by using man's law. Man's law would probably work, but they got it set up as federal. It's the Trump law. Then the state can make a law, and then your local government, if there's anything left and they get away with it, they might make a law. It should be the other way around. Local law should come first, right here in a neighborhood. Who's going to be here to protect you on your property? Say you wanted to own a gun for a burglar, but you can't have one. So burglar comes in and gets you. Who's going to be the first person there? Well, you are. You're the one there. And remember now, I got to think about it. You're the only one responsible for your safety. The police and the government's an illusion of safety. They're not going to be there in the heat of the moment. Why the crimes being happening? They're not going to be there. So how's them laws helping you out? How's that working out for you? If you had something in there, or the burglar knew that there's gun laws in this town, everybody got a gun, he wouldn't be coming in your house. But in the heat of the moment, but whatever happens, like right here in this local community, how can the federal government come down and say no, that ain't right? Or even in this county or in this town or in this neighborhood, how can anybody else above that, the chain of lawmakers, how can they say that it's not right? It's what the local people want. Then it's what the state wants. And then when people don't get their way or somebody's being mistreated, then there should have been some kind of government to look out for them, but not one that runs the whole country, y'all. We're 50 states. God knows how many communities, tens of thousands of communities, 330 million people, and we're governed by one set of laws that are so numerous. And I want you to really think about this one. There's so many laws that every one of you, the good ones, the bad ones, the ugly ones, every one of y'all out there is breaking some kind of law. Yeah, there ain't no police out there to catch you getting your rainwater, and there's no garden police running around. But if they wanted to, legally you can't grow a garden in most states. Legally you can't collect rainwater. See what I'm getting at? So those laws right there control how you live. If you don't want to be on the power company, there's a law that says you got to draw power if you're going to live in your house. You got to get water off the city tap. You got to use their sewer. You can't live like you want to. You think you can. But like most of you, being a happy tax slave that you are, you don't care. Hell, it's just a power bill. So what if I could run solar and live on my own and not have to worry about anything? Or hell, I could collect rainwater just to flush my commode and water my grass. But, since it's against the law, a law that's not enforced, by the way, I'm just going to comply. But that's the other type of law that they got now. It's a compliance law. If nobody speaks out against it, they can just with a pen stroke make a law. They do it. Your silence it gives them consent to make any laws they want. The TPP, that's been made law, but we can't even look at the paperwork for what it is. So who the hell is that benefiting? So see, these corporations done took over. They're the ones that actually lobby for the laws. Then you got a few rich people that do it, and then every once in a while they'll throw you a bone. They'll give you something maybe for the people. I don't know what it is. The marriage thing, gay marriage becoming legal. I don't understand why heterosexual marriage had to be made legal. Why you got to pay to get married? Folks used to not even probably 80 years ago, hell, 30 years ago, you could be common law. You didn't even have to get married. You can just say, hey, baby, I'll let you, here's the ring. Good in front of God and the moon or whatever you do and have your little ceremony. And you was married, called common law marriage. And they changed that. And used to be you just went in front of a preacher. There were no legalities. So heterosexual marriage being, normal marriage, whatever you want to call it, being made legal, a legality, that was stupid. Law don't cover that. That to me kind of goes under natural law and mating, but whatever on that. So we got all these man-made laws and tell you what to do, what you can do. Got to wear a seatbelt. Got to do everything they tell you to do because they, giving you the illusion of safety that we're here for your safety. They got laws that say you can't murder, but they go murder. They go murder people in other countries. They say they got laws that say we can't steal, but the government goes out and steals other people's resources after they murder them. That's breaking God's law and man's law. But we don't do nothing about it. We just sit back. And see, it's all that sitting back and not caring. Well, it don't affect me, or so what if they listen in on my phone call, or they got me under surveillance? I'm not doing anything wrong. What does it matter? It matters because the original law, the United States Constitution, was because the British were doing that to us. Did y'all forget that? They was coming in our houses, busting down our doors, just getting the mail carriers and going through the mail, killing people with no reason, no cause. NDAA 2012 made all America a battlefield, and it's law just written in by one man. Every time some bullshit comes up, Bruce Jenner wanting to be an old woman, a cloud of Michael Jackson floating in the air on Easter or something. You see something like this on TV and you're like, well, look at that. Oh, man, J-Lo's butt's just a little bit bigger. I like that. And you ain't paying attention because behind the scenes, they signing in executive orders. I think it was right before Thanksgiving, there was some stink come up, some missing plane or ISIS beheading somebody or some other Hollywood show, CIA, PSYOP bullshit came up, and Obama signs in 3,712 executive orders in one day, right before a 4 day holiday. So then 4 days go by, and your attention span ain't all that good anymore. I don't know if you notice that. I don't know why. Maybe the aluminum in the air, the fluoride in the water. I don't know why, but you don't think long enough. 4 days go by, you're like, oh well, that's Monday again. I go back to work. I got to make some money, pay these bills. I got taxes to pay. I don't want the IRS. Another illegal law coming and get me. And by the way, the 16th Amendment was never ratified. Federal income tax is illegal, but they keep telling you that it is. So there's some law that ain't even legal that you follow. And without that money, they probably wouldn't be able to do what they're doing right now. But you got to think about that. That's on you. I don't care what you do about taxes. I don't care what you do about these laws. Because here's how I live. I already know I'm going to die. So they can't hold the fear of death over me. They can imprison me. Why? Then they got to feed me and house me and entertain me. So whatever. You can't live in fear all your life. So you can just live. A lot of you out there tell me all the time, Bill, I'll die for this. This is my cause. I'll die for this. I don't give a rat's ass what you die for. What will you live for? What you gonna live for? I'm gonna live to live. When I die, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna be alive. I'm gonna be die living. I'm gonna live free. I'm gonna die living. But that's me. That's me. That's the way I like to do it. But I like natural law. What's natural law, y'all say? Hey, what's natural law, Bill? You sitting there talking about it. Natural law is like gravity. Like, you got to have water or you're going to die of thirst. You got to have good food or you're going to starve. You got to have some shelter because we don't have all the hair and stuff like that. Natural law is fire burns, snakes bite. You know, that's natural law. It's the things out there that you can't change. Man's law gets changed all the time. You think you get a win, then 5 years, 10 years later, they change it on you. You can't change natural law. You can't change the sky being blue. You can chemtrail it and make it gray, but you can't change it from being blue. You can't change the sun from shining. You can't stop these Georgia pines from growing. That's natural law. You can't stop the life cycle. That's the biggest part of natural law that I like. I like the life cycle because I live mine. I'm happy now. I can look back at my kids and my grandkids and I think, there we go. There you go, Bill. You know, so that's all good to me. So yeah, if you had fear and death and you didn't think you need to be protected, you know, because I'm gonna put it to you like this: we live at a point in history, and I'm just gonna stick this to the United States of America. We live in a point of history where there's never ever been this many laws, man's laws now, and these laws, 90% of them were not made by the people. You know, there might be some public support or some public outcry over some incident that happens, say a school shooting. So there needs to be a law that we put metal detectors up in front of the school. They don't deal with the real problem. They just try to make you feel more secure. When I was walking the Smoky Mountains, some kid got bit by a bear because he didn't wash his face and went to sleep in his hammock. They blew up the story, but Nestle or some corporation seemed to own the Smoky Mountain National Park now, so you got to pay $20 to walk it. So to get the $20, they went up there and killed a bear. You know, by law. And these were park rangers. I mean, back in the day, they wasn't armed out in tactical gear out there hunting bears like a manhunt for some prison escapee. Hell, a real ranger go up there with a leash and walk his ass out. But I guess ain't no more real rangers in the Smoky Mountain National Park. But this law that you got to pay $20 to walk it. All right, who made it? A corporation made it. It don't go back to the state park. It don't go back to anything. It goes in their pocket. And you pay it because you want to walk it. Well, I didn't. I paid $130 to bypass it. So I wasn't going to do it. I mean, that's where you got to stand up as an individual. There's a lot of these laws I ain't going to stand for. Self-defense, that's natural. I mean, anything basically the animals do is something we should be able to do naturally. They don't go out and murder, but another critter comes up on them, they're going to try to fight for it, or they go to mate and they fight for it. You know, some things you got to fight for, but they got so many laws and you think you protect it. But I want to ask you about the protection part. In the heat of a moment when a crime's going down, especially like my friends out there in Australia, where they got bad gun laws. They can't really defend themselves that well. So they depended on the government and the police to help them out. And you live an hour out in the bush. It's still going to take an hour for the cops to get there. They could have done killed you, raped your wife, cut your kids' heads off, ate dinner at your house, drank your beer, then took your car and left before the police get there. So what's the law going to do? Law's only going to give them a reason to go get that person and deal with them. And then they won't deal with it like with God's law, I-409, all that stuff. So, you know, whatever on laws and God's law and man's law, because they seem to get changed and they seem to fit agendas. Natural law don't. You can't change gravity. You can't stop that plant from growing. You can't stop that tree from dying and falling over. You can't stop these squirrels from running around. You can't stop this air we got to breathe or the water from flowing. That's natural law. So I want you to think about the laws, and also I want to think where they fit in your life. Really start looking at some of them. I'm going to ask you once again, read the Patriot Act. Read the NDAA, which is supposed to just be a budget. How laws got put in there, I don't know. Study executive orders and how legal they are, and how many presidents during which time signed the most of them or signed the ones that are critical, and how the next one can come in and change it. So see, that don't even matter anyway. That just fits that particular agenda of that party or whoever's in power at the time. And the power part's an illusion too. Let's get real. Let's get real about one thing. This whole planet is run by people that think they own it. And why do they think they own it? Because they got this fake thing called money. This fake thing called money. It don't do anything. They didn't build the buildings they're in. They didn't build the Bentleys they drive around in. They didn't build the Lear jets that they fly around in. No, they got you doing it, sucker. They got you doing it. They got you doing it, and we got the chump change, and they're all flying around jet setting and having a good time. Why? Because they got a little bit of money. Why? Because they sell things that make, and they advertise it to where you think you got to have it. So you buy it. Then they go around and they lobby for laws like this TPP to where somebody like the Philippines wants to cover up their cigarette pack because they're tired of paying, they're a socialist country, they're tired of paying for the cancer rate and the health care from cigarettes. So they try to dissuade people from smoking. But now Philip Morris can go over there and sue them because they covered up the Marlboro sign. And that's law. That's law. They're doing it legal, suing another country for doing what they wanted to do. So look at the TPP, look at the NDAA. I mean, all the way from the history of the NDAA, and notice how it's changed in these executive orders got added in. And please, by all means, please read this Patriot Act. If you get rid of until you get rid of the Patriot Act, you ain't gonna be able to do a damn thing about your constitutional rights. And then you need to look at that Constitution. And it's been cut and picked at so much. I mean, it really don't hold much water. It really don't. What it comes down to is compliance. If we all would quit just jumping on the bandwagon, oh, they made this new law, and now I can't collect rainwater, so I'm going to go over here and I'm going to dump my 55-gallon drum I got under my gutter, and I guess I'll just start watering my plants with this chemically fucking induced tap water. All right, now your plants die. You didn't do what you wanted to do, what was right for you. You're not hurting anybody. You're on your land, or you're on land that you're taking care of. And now you can't do what you want to do because of the law. So think about the laws that get passed and how they apply to you and how they even got to become in existence anyway. Because I don't think this republic thing is working out. I know the democracy thing is okay, but that's still where 51% of the people can murder the other 49% with a vote. So I'm still not so sure. I think what it comes down to is we start with our family first. This is how our family's going to be. You got rules in the house, that's a form of law. And then from the family, the individual, the family, then the neighborhood, then the community, then the county, then the state. And then I never said there shouldn't be a government that helps people out when the community and the states fail to do so. There should be something there to pick up the slack on that. I'm sure, because people's gonna get abused. People are evil. I mean, shit happens. It don't mean that everybody's that way. They're now. I'm gonna throw this in there real quick too. There's now a lot of talk on Politico and some other talking head, yappy ass, damn political talk crap places that are sitting there talking about if we get rid of the Southerners, the white Southerners is what they're talking about. We won't have any problems. We'll be just like Canada and Australia and all these other candy ass countries that let their shit go and nah, we don't want to be like nobody else. I thought it was proud to be an American or proud to be Southern because that's where you're from and that's your country. So why do we want to be like anybody else? They want to be like us, by the way, on a lot of different ways, except for kissing the government's ass and having so many laws. Why do laws ain't going to protect you? All they're going to do is, when it comes down to it, they can just arrest you when they want to. I mean, hell, they can do that anyway because they made that a law. If you cough, respiratory illness is a reason to be indefinitely detained. Read the laws that are in place now. No matter what, they can just say you're a homegrown terrorist like they're trying to do to me and say I'm just a homegrown terrorist so we can arrest you. I ain't got to do a damn thing. No, I just got to talk about it or have a thought about it. But no, but they know what they can do. They can go right to hell. Well, come on, get me, shit. I'm about gone anyway. You can't stop what already done. Can't unring a bell. You can't unring a bell, federal government. So whatever. I don't keep me out of it. I want y'all to think about laws. I want y'all to think. Period. It's time to think. It's actually time to a little bit late for the thinking part, but if you start thinking now, then you act a little bit quicker. But take these laws into consideration. Laws made by corporations are going to fit the needs of these corporations. It's going to allow them to dump their waste. It's going to allow them to overproduce. It's going to allow them to advertise to you to overconsume things you don't want. We got to start taking some individual responsibility. You got to start saying no to some things. Hey, I don't need 4 Coca-Colas today. Maybe I just drink some water. Hey, I don't have to have that car. Maybe I can get a couple more years out of this one. We got to start taking individual responsibility because you can't. A lot of people say, "Hey, Bill, let's wake some people up." They should wake up on their own. If you ain't woke up by now, you need to just get your ass back to bed. Just crawl back under that blanket of fake security provided to you by the New World Order and go your ass back to sleep. At 3%, we done talked about that. We done wished you happy birthday. 3% is all we need anyway. So damn the rest of you 97%. Go on back to sleep. Don't worry about waking them up. Take individual responsibility because I'm going to tell you something. When you start living your life right and quit following the crowd and the group thinking and the over-consuming thinking and all that, others going to see you and they're going to follow because the ones out there that's doing it, they're only doing it because everybody else is doing it because it's a group mentality thing. Remember Edward Bernays, okay? Gustave Le Bon. Remember these men that made their living off group thinking, group mentality. When you stand out, yeah, it's lonely out here. Trust me. Sometimes I feel like I'm the crazy one and everybody else is normal. But y'all the ones that's crazy. Because I'm just living by natural law and a few luxuries I do enjoy. Hey, I like my cigarette. I'm going to smoke me a cigarette. Yeah, I fell for the smoking lie, but, it's tobacco. I'm going to smoke me some tobacco. We can all do things. Anything in moderation isn't bad. But this over-consuming and killing the planet, the believing lies about something just because you don't do it. Just because you don't smoke marijuana don't mean that guy over there with a broken back or that guy with some physical problems or eating problems or nausea problems don't mean he don't need it. So you don't care. So you don't care if he gets his or not. That's apathy. That's what we call apathy, and that's one of the big killers in this country. Just because it don't happen in your backyard, just because you ain't been pepper sprayed yet, just because your kid ain't been shot, just because your son ain't over in Afghanistan killing people, don't mean it ain't gonna happen to you. because there's some shit coming down. I mean, you got to look around. The tension's in the air. They keep it going. I don't think they're going to do much. This flag thing and this Southern culture thing, I think they're just trying to get us stirred up because there's nothing they can do about it. But take the individual responsibility seriously because that's where it starts. When you start acting right by yourself, others are going to see it and they're going to do that monkey see, monkey do thing. All right? Individual responsibility. Question the law. Don't let them pass laws without saying, no, I don't like that. Because silence is now consent for laws. If nothing said, look up consensual laws. I mean, you just got to look into this. And once again, please, y'all look into things. Think. Research. See what fits your life. And see what's in your life that you can take out of it. Because I think we're kind of spoiled and lazy and we enjoy being pampered. And that's fine. But that should be in moderation too. That's what we got to look at. So individual responsibility. Hey, look, I'm going to get out of here. I just want y'all to think about these laws and which ones matter, which ones change and which ones don't. God's law, man's law, they seem to fit agendas and can be worded and changed. Natural law is the only one that don't change, and you can't change nature. So think about that. I love y'all. Peace, and don't live in fear, okay? That fear is what makes most of these laws. Y'all be good now.